Hi everyone, this is Pamela Pan. In this video, I will talk about what we can do to support Asian Americans. The U.S. has a long history of violence against Asian Americans. We are supposed to be equal, but our skin color often subjects us to discrimination. The Atlanta shooting is the most recent mass murder and is the culmination of racism that has surged during the pandemic. Hate crimes against Asian Americans continued after the Atlanta shooting. A 65-year-old Filipino woman was thrown to the ground and stomped on the head multiple times. An Asian man was beaten brutally on a subway train. He was choked and left unconscious. In both situations, nobody helped. Asian Americans are outraged, but also live in fear for their safety. People across racial lines ask, what can we do to support the Asian community? We can do many things to help. First, violence stems from racist attitudes. We need everyone to speak up when hearing xenophobic comments. Our society must send the message that racism has no place in America. Check in with your Asian American friends and neighbors, especially seniors. If they need help walking on the street, grocery shopping, going to their medical appointments, offer escorts and other forms of assistance. You can also volunteer at local organizations that have been doing these things. Intervene if possible when racist incidents toward Asian Americans occur. Directly respond to the harassment. Distract the perpetrator. Ask for assistance that's delegate. Delay is to make a difference by checking in with the victim. And document. Take the bystander intervention training so we are better equipped to assist in case of incidents. If necessary, call 911. File hate crime report with FBI. Also submit your hate crime or incident report to the Stop AAPI Hate website. Educate ourselves on the history and present experiences of Asian Americans. Learn about the Page Act, the Chinese Exclusion Act, the mass lynching of Chinese workers, the Japanese internment camps, the fatal attack on the Filipinos, and the murder of Vincent Chin. These are often not recorded in history books because Asian Americans were erased in American history. Donate to victims of hate crimes. Most of the women who died in the Atlanta shooting are bread earners of their families. Now their families are struggling. We can also support organizations on this list. Be a role model. Educate children and people around you about racism against Asian Americans. Examine your own privileges and assumptions. For too long, Asian Americans are shoved to the sidelines and ignored even when they cried out for help. It is time for these conversations to occur, and frequently. Support Asian businesses. They are doubly hit by the pandemic and racism. Many are vandalized and their employees' safety threatened. Although hardly reported, Asian Americans have the highest rate of unemployment during the pandemic among all the groups. We can also help to increase Asian American visibility, elevate our voices, add more Asian American presence in politics, media, and workplaces. Martin Luther King once said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." Let's join forces and be the light that drives away the darkness of hate. Let this era of heightened tension usher in a new future for Asian Americans and all marginalized groups in this country. Here are some videos to understand more about Asian American history and experiences. There will be a link at the end of this video that shows all the resources. Here are some books about Asian American history that I recommend. Minor Feelings by Kathy Park Horn, We Gonna Be Alright by Jeff Chan, Yellow by Frank Wu, The Making of Asian America by Erica Lee, The Karma of Brown Folk by V.J. Prashad. Here are some memoir and fictional books that I recommend. All You Can Ever Know by Nicole Chan, I Hotel by Karen Tae Yamashita, Native Speaker by Chen Ray Lee, Chinaman by Maxine Hong Kingston, The Unpassing by Chia Chia Lin, No No Boy by John Okata, The Levers by Lisa Ko. For links to bystander intervention training, crime report, articles, videos, and a longer list of books, please go to pamelapan.com, Resources for Stopping Anti-Asian Violence. Thank you for your solidarity. Together, we can build a better and more just society.